Hello, welcome everyone. I am Helen O'Brien. I'm the CTE and Career Coordinator for Aragon High School. And thank you for coming tonight. This is our first time we've ever done this. It's Stay in the Bay with 100K. And myself and my counterpart, Nancy Kane from San Mateo High School, we've been working on this since the spring. So let me see here. Here we go. So first thing is I'd love for everybody to take out their phones and silence them. We have some really important information. We don't need any ringing phones or barking dogs or anything like that. Okay, so what's CTE? CTE is Career and Technical Education. It's a required program here at all of our schools in the district. Some of our students go on to take a second year in their CTE path. Our district offers 5 different paths at the different schools: arts, media, and entertainment, engineering, architecture, and green construction, health science, and bio and medical technology, hospitality, tourism, and recreation, and information and communication technology. All of these paths are represented in our lobby tonight. So students, ask yourselves, what kind of person am I? Am I a risk taker? Maybe an entrepreneur? Or am I the type of person who needs a little more stability in my life? By 2020, 4 out of 10 Americans will be contract employees. What's a contract employee? Someone who's not really an employee. A company hires you to do a certain period of time job. Maybe you come in to do a job for 6 months and they let you go. So this is the face of the new gig economy. So, hey, I just got this gig. That's what they're calling it. When you're self-employed, guess who pays for your medical and dental insurance? You do. Who contributes to your retirement? You do. And when you call in sick, do you get paid? No. If you're the type of person who needs a little bit more stability, look at your future career as a total package. Tonight, you'll hear about salaries, how much jobs are paying. Keep in mind, when you're employed at a company, you need to look at everything. Look at paid time off, vacation and sick pay, medical, dental, vision benefits, as well as your retirement plan. All of that together, along with your salary, makes up your total compensation. You'll hear from people tonight who started out on one path and ended up on another. That's okay. It's okay if you don't know what you want to do for a career. I often tell students it's easier to know what you don't want to do than what you do want to do. All of your schools have Naviance. If you haven't checked out this free tool, take time to look at Road Trip Nation and Strengths Explorer, plus other tools on this site. If you're not familiar with Naviance, go to your college and career center and someone there will be able to help you. This is your time to explore. We will also hear about job projections and the labor market. Our goal tonight is to educate you, students and parents, about career paths where you don't need a 4-year college degree. So with that, I'm going to introduce a couple of people. Now, this first gentleman, Jose Gonzalez, calls us today and let us know he has to work tonight. So, a little bit about Jose. Jose went to San Mateo High School right here, and he graduated in 2016. That's 3 years ago. After high school, he took a year off of school and he worked at In-N-Out Burger. Not really sure what he wanted to do. He applied to different jobs. Finally, after about a year, he thought, I'm going to go to CSM and figure it out. Now, as a young boy, he always loved trains. His 3rd day at CSM, he got a phone call, and he got the job at Caltrain. He started as a Caltrain conductor. This would be 2 years ago now, right? Because he was at CSM, he's took a year off. He's been there ever since. He's been promoted to engineer, and all of his training has been on the job with some classroom work. I'm happy to report he has full benefits, a 401k, and he earns well over $100,000. All right, next person we have is Nicole, Aissa. Come on up.
Hello, good evening, everybody. I want to thank Nancy and Helen for putting on such a great event. I think this is so important. My story's a little bit longer than Jose's because I'm much older than he is. So when I was a senior in high school, I was a hostess in a restaurant, and my plan was to attend CSM and then figure out where I was going to go to get my 4-year degree. And then I turned 18, and I became a waitress. And I don't know if you know this, but waitresses make a lot of money in tips. And with that, I kept putting off college. When I was about 24 years old, I was working at the fish market in San Mateo, and there was 2 men that used to come in all the time and have lunch. I don't know why I feel emotional. This is exciting. And they said to me one day, "What are you doing here? You should be in sales. You should be working for us." And what I realized in that moment was I had built a relationship, I provided excellent customer service, and I was always kind, and with that, they tapped me on the shoulder and gave me an amazing opportunity. So I was in sales in the food service industry for about 4 or 5 years. One night I was meeting my team at dinner, and I was waiting in the lounge, and I met another gentleman who owned a semiconductor company. And we started chatting, and he said, "Gosh, I'd love for you to work for me someday." My boss showed up. He asked him how I was as an employee. My boss said, "She's a go-getter. She's got a lot of drive. She's my best salesperson." With that, I had another job opportunity, which I ended up calling this man 9 months later. He remembered me. He hired me. By the way, I didn't know what a semiconductor was. I was terrified. I was trying to talk him out of hiring me. "I don't know what it is. I don't have a degree." He said, "That's okay, kid. We'll teach you. Just work hard. We have engineers. Just, always be honest with people." With that job, I did a lot of traveling, and I got tired of that, so I looked at my parents, who both were in the real estate career, and I decided to take a job as a representative for a title company. And that's an ancillary business to the real estate business. And I did that for, almost 8, 9 years. And one day, a friend of mine who was a broker at a real estate company told me he was switching companies to open a Keller Williams Peninsula Estates, which is here in Burlingame. And he told me that this gentleman that was coming to town to open all these great real estate companies was looking for people in his position to open other businesses. And I said, "Well, I'm not a broker. I can't run a real estate company." And he said, "Yes, you can, Nicole. You can do whatever you want." And we had that conversation for about 1.5 years. And one day he said, "Nicole, Keller Williams Palo Alto is actively seeking a team leader. If you don't throw your hat in the ring, you're an idiot." Because he's, my friend, and friends do that, right? So I asked what it looked like, and he said, "They want people who are driven. They want people who are customer service oriented. They want people that know the real estate business, that know how to love on agents." He goes, "That's what you already do. This is a great path in leadership for you." That was a little over 6 years. Since then, I was recruited away from that company to run another local real estate company. And then I was recruited back away to run the Keller Williams Peninsula Estates, where I've been successfully happy for over 1 year. I have many real estate agents who work for me who are independent contractors making well into the millions of dollars. My job is to recruit them, hire them, and make sure I give them a really great home to work. I don't make what they make, but I do make well over $200,000, and I couldn't be happier. My mom is here tonight, and I just want to say thank you for not making me go to college. Because as Helen mentioned, I didn't know what my path looked like, but I did learn that if you have drive, ambition, kindness, follow through on what you say you're going to do, you can easily be successful and do anything that you want to do. I will back up and say I did get my real estate license, never sold a house. I got it for credibility in my role as a leader in a real estate company, and then I got my broker's license just for another piece of credibility. I've never needed either in what I do on the day-to-day. All I do is just take care of the people in my world, make sure they're happy so they don't want to leave. And that's my path.
Thanks, Nicole. Thank you. Okay. Thank you, Nicole. All right, this next gentleman we have is Chris Murtagh. And after high school, he started at CSM. He attended for a semester, and he worked as a hockey instructor. He did some coaching. He delivered pizza. He worked at Costco. And then an opportunity came up, and I'll let Chris tell you the rest. Chris.
Good evening. When I was a kid, I loved to take things apart, could never put them back together. Going through school was never my thing. I hated school, didn't want to go, didn't want to do the homework. And when I went to CSM, same thing. It got to the point where my parents pretty much said, we're not going to pay for college, you're going to have to pay for it on your own. And so I lasted about a semester. Luckily, a gentleman that was up in the city with the local up there for the electrical union alerted my dad that they were taking applications. At the time, I was working for, Round Table, delivering pizzas, making minimum wage, not really going anywhere in life, didn't really have an idea of what I wanted to do. And so I ended up filling out the application, continued to go to CSM for that semester and a half. Was able to get in a relatively decent amount of time. I'll backtrack a little bit also. In high school, I pretty much aced my SATs. If I would have just applied myself and done the work, all the homework, everything, I could have gone to a 4-year college with a full ride. A full ride. Wouldn't have to pay for anything. Any college that I wanted to go to. Just wasn't for me. How many out there, raise your hands, how many out there don't really like going to school, don't like doing the homework? 1, 2, 3, a lot of you guys, right? Okay, so you don't necessarily have to have a 4-year degree to make over $100,000 a year. It's hard work, yes, but it's clean money every day. Now, the other side of that is that you still have to go to school. You still and for ours, it's a 5-year apprenticeship, but you work every day, and you go to school twice a week. Now it's once every semester you go for a full week, and it's still a 5-year program. The other side of that also is that you can also sign paperwork when you are doing the apprenticeship program to get an AA degree. And you can always go back, which a lot of guys that I know have gone back to college to get degrees in electrical theory, business management. At this point now, I've been an electrician for 20 years. I started off pretty much when I was 19 years old. I just turned 40 this year. I make roughly between $100,000 to $160,000 a year. I have full benefits, which are about $4,000 in dental every year, which is incredible. Every dentist kind of falls over and they want to pretty much work on whatever molar I have. Second off, our retirement package is about roughly close to $1 million pension and annuity. We now have a 401k that we can actually add to, and full medical. Doesn't matter where you want to go, Kaiser, Sutter Health, whichever one. So with that package, it's very, very hard to compete with that. Now, the other side of the coin is that you're going to have to work hard. You're going to have to work hard. It's taken me about 10 years to become a foreman. So now I have anywhere from 5 to 8 gentlemen that work for me. I work 35 hours a week. Anything above and beyond that is time and a half, Saturdays, if I work overtime during the week, is double time. And you're looking at somewhere in, what, the 160, closer to $200 an hour. So you can work, you can go to a 4-year college, do all of that. You can go and do an apprenticeship, which is amazing. It's going to open a lot of opportunities for you. I mean, my path wasn't the path I was going to do. Really wasn't. I wanted to be a hockey player, wanted to go travel the world doing that. Didn't happen. But with what I do now, it affords me to do the things that I want to do. It affords me to race motorcycles for 5 years, pay for it on my own. It pays for my vacations. And my path really wasn't the traditional one, and your path may not be the traditional one also, but it just depends on what you want to do with your life. So, you know, blue-collar work, it's hard work, but with good knowledge of it, good work ethic, you'll get there. So feel free to, you know, talk to any one of the people on this panel tonight. Ask all the questions that you can. There's one thing that I'll leave you guys with, and it's something that I tell every single one of my journeymen that work for me. The only stupid question is the one not asked. There's no such thing as a stupid question. So it doesn't matter, you know, if you think in your head, hey, I shouldn't be asking this, I'm just going to get laughed at. Ask the question, because it might be one that somebody hasn't heard before, and they'll have an answer for you. Thank you very much. Have a good evening.
Thank you, Chris. Thank you. Well, now I know why my checking account gets cleaned out every time I have an electrician